We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump! Fight for Trump!
We'll pause.
Protesters are in the building.
Thank you.
They broke the glass. Everybody stay down. Get down.
This is America, and this is what's happening right now. The president needs to call it off.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
Hello everyone, it's Queen Line back to you with another video. This video pertains to the recent revelation of former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows exchanging text messages with at least 34 Congress members plotting to overthrow the 2020 election. Now, I would like to acknowledge the families of Brian Sicknick, who unfortunately lost his life on 1/6/21, in addition to the 4 additional officers, Gunther, Hashida, Howard, Liebengood, Kyle, DeFreytag, and Jeffery Smith, who all unalived themselves months after the 1/6 attack. I will leave in the comments and description below for hotlines and organizations that will help persons going through a difficult time. In addition, at least 140 officers were injured during the 1/6 attack. So let's dive right in. Reports claim that at least 34 sitting Congress members plotted to overturn the 2020 election. The reason why I'm doing this video is a few days ago, the Guardians of Putin tweeted, "Accountability is coming." So I quote tweeted them by stating, "Accountability was not a thought on 1/6. You broke part of the 14th Amendment, Section 3, which I will read in part, where it states, 'No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president who having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer in the United States to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof.'" So make that make sense. Why are we not blowing the alarm on these Congress members who blatantly violated their oath to office by aiding the twice impeached one-term grifter loser Donald Trump? We were all witnesses on 1/6 as domestic terrorists violated the Capitol building, and we have sitting Congress members who are openly conspirators. We have SCOTUS's spouse conspiring with the Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, to overturning the 2020 elections. I need persons to understand how serious these allegations and how these charges are for sitting Congress members aiding and abetting in an attempted coup because their party lost. We cannot have some laws for some and some laws for others. No one is above the law. So why are persons acting as if these sitting Congress members are above the law? There needs to be checks and balances regarding this matter. Now you will watch these brief clips from MSNBC, and I will be back with more commentary.
In one text sent to Meadows just 3 days before Joe Biden's inauguration, South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman writes, quote, "Our last hope is invoking martial law. Please urge President to do so." It's unclear if Meadows responded to that message. He did, however, respond to a plan to overturn the election floated by Arizona Republican Andy Biggs. After Biggs raised debunked claims that a substantial number of illegal immigrants had cast ballots, Meadows responded, quote, "I like it." The texts also show extensive efforts by Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry to have environmental lawyer Jeffery Clark installed as Attorney General in the final days of the Trump administration. You'll remember Clark was dismissed by the people at the Justice Department. If we have an oil spill, we'll let you know if we need you. After responding once to that, the text exchange shows Meadows ignored multiple messages from Perry. Included in those texts, a popular right-wing conspiracy theory about an Italian defense contractor stealing the election for Democrats. These texts have not been verified by NBC News.
What do we do with that? We have sitting politicians who were channeling that ethnic anxiety to try to overturn the government.
Yes, well, I think what's notable about those text messages, so first we need to understand that Mark Meadows is the epicenter of this entire, the architecture of this coup. I have a diagram on Twitter that kind of shows it, but basically he's in the middle and he's connected to all of these different threads, to the Kraken team that's down in the state legislatures, to DOJ that's trying to do this, fraudulent letter, to the war room that's connected to these militia groups. And then he's connected to these members of Congress. I do think that the members of Congress's role in this is, to me, seems like a hole in what the January 6th committee was investigating. It seems like they haven't really addressed that, and I don't see that being a part of their report. Now, I don't know if that's out of courtesy to fellow legislatures, if there was going to be constitutional issues about getting them to testify, things like that. Yeah. But I don't know that that's going to be a part of their accountability scheme, and I don't know that DOJ is necessarily investigating that either, Joy. So I'm not sure what is going to come of it on that front.
Well, I mean, that's the challenge, Michael. These are sitting members of Congress. They're still sitting. They're still sitting, and they're serving with them. And so, right, the things that we've heard are possibilities from the January 6th committee, the referrals, criminal prosecution, campaign finance, ethics committee stuff, which we know members have done against other members before, bar discipline, going after people's, whether they can be a lawyer, inspectors general, office of special counsel, that kind of thing. There's the one that hasn't been mentioned, the dog that hasn't hunted, is 14th Amendment. Right. I mean, the 14th Amendment reads, "No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector or a member of the vice president who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States to support the Constitution, engage in insurrection or rebellion." So that, I mean, but none of those dogs seem to be hunting.
They're not hunting. And there's actually, and I'd be curious, Asha's view on this, a very, I think, good reason why. They don't know how to do it. They don't, I mean, the Justice Department, the political system, the people in the country don't have a real, we've never been here before where we've had so many sitting members of Congress engage in one coercive act of insurrection. How do you deal with that? I mean, we can't put our head around, should we prosecute the former president? I mean, people wringing their hands over these things. So this period with the January 6th committee, they're struggling with, okay, so if we go down this road, will the Justice Department respond?
Right.
If they don't respond, what does that say? So I think that's, once we're past this, and you sort of break that fever in the future for those who want to engage, y'all be careful because you're going to get locked up.
Well, I mean, and Asha, I mean, they did it after the Civil War. I mean, the one time that we've had to do this was after the Civil War, and that's why there's a 14th Amendment. And the idea was those people couldn't come back to Congress, and they shouldn't come back to Congress. But now they're there, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of legal accountability ahead.
Yes, and we also don't have a precedent for how to apply the 14th Amendment, Section 3, in this situation. It's not a self-executing provision.
Right.
So even that part of it, even if you were to apply it, say the committee says, all of these people are insurrectionists. Okay, then I guess you have to take that to a court and somehow disqualify them or get them removed. I mean, I'm not really sure what happens. But as Michael said, we're in just completely uncharted territory and uncharted legal territory. And I think it emphasizes, Joy, why some of the escape valves that we have in our Constitution, like impeachment, are really important, because the criminal code is not designed to handle things like this when it's done by someone who occupies the office of the presidency.
You're absolutely right.
Now that the guardians of Putin will have a slim majority in the House of Representatives, they feel emboldened to continue the conspiracy, lies, misinformation, disinformation, which cost the lives on January 6th and months after. We have sitting Congress members conspiring with chief of staffs into overturning the will of the people. Sitting Congress members who took an oath to defend the Constitution from foreign and domestic entities, and the fact that these sitting Congress members still have an office, still are going to make laws which will not only impact us today, but for generations to come, should be an alarm to us all. When I emphasize in my videos that elections have consequences and elections matter, this is what I am speaking of, because the domino effect of 1/6 is still being carried out today. And if we remain silent as entities within our government conspire to stripping the democracy in which we hold dear, and in which persons around the world envy our democracy, then we have no one to blame when our democracy as we know it will be stripped. This is not a game. We have persons openly conspiring to overthrowing the government of these United States. We were all witnesses to 1/6. I thank you for watching. Please be safe out here, and I will see you in the next video.